It's all right. It's all right. I'm back. Even though probably nobody even fucking noticed, I'm back. Oh man, I've been gone for a little bit. I'm enjoying myself. Had a fucking vacation a little bit. I went to a wedding. That's why I didn't upload last weekend. I was the night of the truck race. I was at the Kansas truck race. I was at a wedding. And then after that, we decided to go to the lake and, just do a little fishing. I caught a nice little catfish. That's why I missed I saw the Kansas race, but, I didn't get as many notes as I wanted to. But yeah, let's get right into it. I mean, obviously, with the truck race, I saw maybe the last 50 laps as soon as I got home, and oh my god, did it piss me off, because Ben Rhodes, he was running so well that race with Kyle Busch. I mean, they were just going at it, and Ben Rhodes actually had a way better advantage on Kyle Busch, but unfortunately, two things are, just too good to be true, and fucking this happens. It's just, it pissed me off.
Rhodes from the lead has a problem.
Looks like
Stay on the apron, bud.
looks like an engine problem.
Yeah.
You can see the smoke coming out of the tailpipe.
Yeah.
Well, what a heartbreaker.
Dead, I'm coming to you. It's dead.
Every fucking time some bullshit happens to this guy. Every fucking time! Sorry to anyone wearing headphones. I probably should have warned you. So Kyle Busch ends up winning the shit show, and Ben Rhodes, once again, it was too good to be true, and loses because of a blown engine. But enough of that shit. Let's get into the Monster Energy at Kansas, which probably most of you have already heard about already because of, it was literally, the finish was on the news. But I remember Ryan Blaney, he got the pole, but immediately went to the back, and I don't know, he had engine problems at the beginning. I remember Jimmy Johnson ended up moving Austin Dillon. Landon Castle ended up hitting the wall twice. Chase Elliott and McDowell got into it at pit road. What else happened? I think Todd Dillon spun out. Kyle Busch won the first stage. Jimmy Johnson got into Kurt, and then Kurt ends up cutting a tire, I think. What else? Of course, Corey LaJoie once again gets into the wall. Greg Gaulding blew a tire. This is just all the boring shit. Actually, no, it was. I went into the Kansas race thinking that it was going to be a fucking, shit show. Like, I watched the Kentucky race and I knew it was going to be something similar to that, but usually Kansas has just never been that good of a race. But it ended up delivering because later on in the race, I think it was, Paul Menard and AJ Allmendinger got into it. I do have a clip of that real quick.
When I looked at this one, I saw they were hooked together, and I'm not sure how they got that way, but they were definitely running. They were definitely running into each other.
So after that caution came out, they lined them back up, and unfortunately, we had probably one of the biggest crashes I've seen, especially at a 1.5 mile track. And it was just, I'll just let you see it for yourself. I'll just talk about it a little bit. If you haven't already heard about it, which like I said, I'm sure you have, but here's a clip of the big one at Kansas.
Trouble, big
crash. Danica Patrick and Joey Logano and Eric Almirola.
Holy smoly. Heavy damage there on Danica.
Those cars are killed.
And Almirola piling in at the last second and going up in the air. Patrick
Danica's
quickly
out
out of her car.
Boy, she's out in a hurry.
Woo. No kidding, the thing was on fire.
And looking rather upset. Joey Logano's car is not going to make it back to the garage. Neither is Eric Almirola. The window net down on both of those cars. Signal to the safety crews the driver is okay. Now,
oh man, it looked like the 22 just got loose.
I think that.
Oh man, what a ride that Danica went on.
Danica took a heck of a ride into the wall, and then the 43 just plowed in there.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go. I think he committed to the outside lane. Pretty big impact by the 43. As you could see, Almirola sitting in his car. He hadn't quite gotten out.
But Almirola, he ended up not being okay. They ended up having to throw the red flag out and cut him out of it literally cut his entire roof off of the car. And, I mean, I was just sitting there just worried that 30 minutes while I was watching it. And it ended up, they ended up taking him to the hospital immediately. The race was going to continue. They said that, he was conscious and stuff, but he ended up suffering. I mean, I'm not very good with my medical terminology, but I think he ended up suffering a compressed, maybe I think it was compressed vertebrae, where basically his spine just kind of shortened a little bit and then crunched. And I mean, I think there was another similar accident with Denny Hamlin at one point, I believe. And I mean, I thought it was going to be something like Kyle Busch, where he broke, some parts of his legs, but he ended up, hurting his spine instead. So I think they ended up shortening his spine or just removing part of the. I could be wrong. You could easily just Google this shit, because I'm not very like I said, I'm not good with my medical terminology. But yeah, he's recovering now. They have to do the precautionary. I guess it's 8 to 12 weeks. I'm just glad he's okay, and I think they literally released him from the hospital a day or two after that. So I'm just glad he's all right, and I think Regan Smith is driving for him right now. But glad to see that he's recovering and nothing was more serious than it was, I guess you could say. So after that, everybody was basically worried about Aric Almirola, but like I said, they ended up finishing the race. I think a couple more cautions ended up coming out. Nothing, too crazy. Just a couple, I think, saw a couple blown tires, people scraping the wall, stuff like that. I remember, I think it was maybe 9 laps to go when they threw another restart, and Jimmy Johnson got into it. And it was a shitty restart. I have a quick clip of that, because I was just like, what the fuck is this shit, I mean, here you go.
Well, I think because the 4 car was able to get up to the left rear of the 21.
Whoa, they're not done. There goes the 48. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. I think either Blaney or Kurt spun their tires or whatever. I mean, it was just very confusing. But they restarted with 3 to go. And I mean, it was an okay race, I have to admit, other than Almirola almost getting hurt, or did get hurt. I mean, it was an okay race. Forgot to mention who won. Truex won, and yeah, I think he deserved it. He was up there the whole race. It was a pretty good finish. But let's get into the Camping World Truck Series at Charlotte. That was I think it was last Friday. Yeah. I remember Christopher Bell got the pole, but he immediately blew a tire 4 laps later on, but there wasn't a caution. Man, Tut, that was a big-ass sneeze. Sorry about that, my dog just fucking sneezed. But Kyle Busch ends up winning stage 1 and 2. There was just, a bunch of people hitting the wall and blowing tires. Kaz Grala, I remember Norm Benning. I don't even know who the fuck that is. I just wrote it down. Let's see. Regan Smith ended up hitting the wall hard. I think he got into it with Austin Wayne Self, and that was about, I think, 33 laps to go. And then there was another caution, seven to go, but it ended up being, once again, a shitty finish, with Kyle Busch ended up winning the fucking race, pulling away. It was boring as shit. I mean, the Charlotte race, the truck Charlotte race was even worse than, the one with Ben Rhodes. At least the race with Ben Rhodes at Kansas was a little bit more fucking interesting, but this one was a shit show. Oh my god, I'm tired of fucking Kyle Busch just getting into this shit, and I don't know. It pisses a lot of fans like me who want to see a lot of young drivers actually get into, be a good fucking race car driver. Literally, Ben Rhodes is 15 miles down the road from me, so I think of him if I was out there, driving, I'd probably race just like he did, just a fucking Kentucky boy trying to win a race, but dumbasses like Kyle Busch are going to fucking take it away from him.
His 7th win at Charlotte.
But let's get into the actual All-Star race. First, we had the All-Star Open, and that was a fucking killer race. Clint ended up getting the pole, and I think Clint actually, he won the first segment. He immediately cashed his check right into the All-Star race. For those of you who don't know, it's basically just the race that people without maybe without not a lot of wins or a race at Charlotte. There's certain rules that you have to get into the All-Star race without having to actually qualify for it in the Open. But this race it's basically just a race to get in a race. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we had Blaney started segment 2 and ended up winning segment 2. Also, I remember Danica and Trevor Bayne, they were just racing hard throughout the whole race. And at one point, Danica just said, fuck it, I'm just going to try to get into him. And, you know, she turned him. But Trevor Bayne ended up doing a hell of a lot of saving, or just that fucking save that he made. I mean, she just kept racing him so hard. And then at one point, she literally almost turned him, but he saved it. I was amazed by his driving skills. I mean, just check this shit out.
She gets to his left rear. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think the air.
Yeah, he ended up saving the shit, and he kept going, and I was so surprised by that. And also, I think AJ Allmendinger and Austin Dillon got into it at one point of the race. It was just, they were all battling. That's what makes the Charlotte Open just way better. I mean, it's a great start to the day of the All-Star race. But yeah, Blaney won segment 2. I remember Landon Castle spun out at one point. And then, oh my God, then it got good once it was Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, and Daniel Suarez all racing up front. And Eric Jones tries to make a little, just a little pass in the grass, like as I like to call it. You know, back in the old days, that one move that Earnhardt made that, you know, is so famous. But yeah, just, I mean, he tries it, and like I said, the cars are just not designed to, you know, go in the grass. The splitter will literally just dig right in the dirt as soon as because I mean, there's so much downforce on these cars. But just here's what happens.
77 might get them both. Wow, what a run off the corner.
He's in the grass.
Don't go in the grass.
Boy,
No.
Yeah, he got the splitter.
Oh yeah,
he something under the nose.
He ruined his car
This
right
thing's
there.
Yeah, he tried it, but it didn't work out for him, and he ended up spinning, and I think, yeah, Daniel Suarez ended up winning the last, you know, the third segment, which is, I mean, there isn't really like a winner to the race. It's just those 3 drivers advance, and then Chase Elliott ended up getting the fan vote. So those 4 drivers ended up being in the actual All-Star race. And I wish that I had something to talk about in the All-Star race, but literally I read a lot of comments on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and it was literally one of the most boring All-Star races I've ever watched. I mean, I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. Literally, there was nothing to talk about. They ran around in circles. There's maybe a little bit of passing here and there, you know, just in the middle of the pack, nothing too exciting. I remember Larson just dominated the first of the race and wins the first 2 segments. I mean, once again, even though it was such a short race, it was still pretty fucking boring. I remember Ryan Blaney and Clint Boyer decided to stay out, I think, but didn't really work out for them too well. I think they ended up getting a good finish out of it, but, you know, it was nothing to really brag about or anything. And I mean, maybe it's just me because I had a couple beers the night that I was watching it, but literally I don't remember anything that was too exciting. And to top it all off, guess who fucking wins?
And there we go.
Greg, I mean, Kyle Busch is not going to waste any time. He's got to get around his 22
the
car.
42. Larson gets in the left rear of the 2.
Yikes.
He pins Hamlin up against the wall. McMurray takes off. The white flag waves. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Kyle Larson, he just wants to pass Jimmy Johnson. For Kyle Busch, he wants that $1 million.
No, he wants that 42 to pass Jimmy Johnson because that'll slow them both down. There he goes.
Larson to the bottom.
Wow, what
Slide
a
job.
move by Larson.
Larson to second.
Slide job.
Here comes Johnson back on the outside, but out front, the Candyman, Kyle Busch, wins the All-Star race.
Wow.
God damn it. So yeah, to top off this fucking boring ass race, Kyle Busch gets his first All-Star win after just being a dickhead and dominating the whole Truck Series. You know, the 2 races that they get to start out with, you know, he's just like, all right, fuck all y'all, I'm gonna win them. I don't know, you might be a Kyle Busch fan. I never was, and I never will be. I'm sorry, I just do not like the guy. But I mean, shit, he's a good race car driver, but fuck, I don't like him. I'm sorry. But this is going to be the end of this, and I'm glad that I'm glad that I combined them, because like I said, the All-Star race, there wasn't much to talk about other than the All-Star Open, which was way better of a race. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll probably see y'all next weekend. I hope I'll see y'all next weekend with the the Charlotte 500 or whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, this is Fresh Racing here. See y'all later.
What I love is, when you go out there, you go out there to run a qualifying lap, and the pucker factor is pretty high on the qualifying lap. Then you're going to come on pit road.
I think Jeff got a little too excited there when DW mentioned the pucker factor.